presented by Bert in the BHA. Again, just a few reminders. This webinar is being recorded. After the presentations, a link to the recording will be sent to you. Please keep your mics muted and use the chat feature for any comments and to ask us any questions. And while we are presenting, there will be time at the end of the presentation for questions as well. And as another reminder, in the chat, please provide your name, your role, and your organization that you work for. Next slide. So BERT stands for the Behavioral Health Resources and Technical Assistance Program. We are located at the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy, and we aim to improve public health by bridging the gap between research and practice through technical assistance and evaluation. We are contracted by the Maryland Department of Health Behavioral Health Administration to provide technical assistance to local health departments and health systems in Maryland as well. Additionally, if you have any new staff, we can provide an orientation about the BERT program. And you can follow the BERT program on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Next slide. For those of you who are not familiar with the members of the BERT team, we have Dr. Shaya. She is the executive director and she oversees the entire BERT program. Next, we have Nicole Silfon. She is the associate director and she manages the day-to-day operations of the BERT program. I am Vanessa Michelle Dukes, and I provide technical assistance support for the Eastern and Central regions of Maryland. Then we have Rana Carcioglu, and she provides TA support for the Southern and Western regions of Maryland. And last but not least, we have Paris Barnes, our communications specialist. She supports the local health departments with creating data products such as one-pagers, fact sheets, slide decks, and other products that can be shared with a variety of audiences. Next, you will meet the team at BHA.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the FY 25-26 Prevention Kickoff. We are really excited to work with you again this year, and I will turn it over to Brooke so she can introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brooke Holmes, and I am a program administrator with the I was about to say the other office, with Behavioral Health Administration, working with Helene and overseeing our prevention program grants as well as the overdose fatality review program.
So during this call, we just wanted to discuss like the general requirements and expectations for the prevention grants. And we will be reviewing the conditions of award, addressing reporting requirements, and then reviewing the evaluation scope of work. And then the BERT team will discuss their workshops and webinars and TA for FY25. Before I get started, I know that many of you will probably have some questions about where your FY25 award letters are, and there has been some significant delays this year in getting those award letters out. So I am thinking that you should be receiving those like in the next few days or so. I know that I think some of them have actually gone out today. So I just wanted to let you know that, because I'm sure many of you have questions. And also, just as a reminder, I recently sent an updated prevention contact list. And if you haven't done so already, please review it and just let me know if any changes need to be made to it. I really would appreciate that. So regarding the conditions of award, so your conditions of award should be included in your award letter that you receive. So the first thing is the key activities and performance measures. They are listed in the appendix and will be required for all of your strategies that you are implementing. This is actually very similar to last year's appendix. The only difference is that for FY25, the compliance checks in conjunction with the responsible beverage service strategy has been added. So If you don't have the appendix, please let me know. It was actually, I believe it was sent out in March. And like I said, it should be also sent out with the award letters. And also there will be mandatory meetings / workshops for FY25. And the expectation is that at least one person from the jurisdiction must attend the meetings and webinars. And also BHA approval is needed for any kind of written audio or video materials, and any requests for approvals should be sent to the prevention inbox, which is, should have it by now, but it's bha.prevention@maryland.gov. And also BHA will be, approval is also needed for any kind of modifications to strategies, implementation plans, or budgets, and it should, any request should also be sent to the BHA prevention inbox. Next slide, please. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the reporting requirements. So I know that this year there's a new universal reporting form that's going to be due quarterly. You should have all received your forms by now. So this new form is required for any agency that receives funding from BHA, and it really creates like a uniform reporting process across all of BHA's programs. So this form replaces the old BHA form that was required last year, which was, I think was called the BHA Block Grant Fiscal and Program Report form. So that form is no longer going to be required, just to clarify that. So I recently sent out a recording of the training on this form that really provides very detailed instructions on each section. And I think that this should resolve most of your questions that you have. So I strongly encourage you to listen to it. So if you have any other questions about this, please send me an email and we can definitely schedule a time to meet. I'd be happy to talk to you. And all of the completed forms should be sent directly to me. Then the quarterly report forms that go to BERT will still be required. However, this report form is really being simplified, and there really won't be any like duplication going on between the quarterly progress report and the universal reporting form. So that form will really, that report will really focus on progress that you made in reporting on outcomes and like any TA needs that you may have. So the link to the report will not change from last year. And then finally, there will be, still will be required, it will be the end of year evaluation reports at the end of the year. And I will, I think that's about it. I will answer any questions you have at the end.
All right, next slide, please. We're going to talk about evaluators and their role. Actually, go back. Thought it would just have the question. So I would like a little bit of interaction here. What is it that you all, our grantees, believe an evaluator is? You can raise your hand, you can come off mute, you can type in the chat. What do you believe the role of the evaluator is? I'm not seeing any answers. Do you guys see hands up? We need somebody. I can call on somebody. I do like to do that. All right, Carol.
Well, one of the roles I think is to analyze the data that we collect. You know,
Okay, good. Thank you. Does anybody else? Thank you, Carol, for that. Does anybody else have I see an epidemiologist type of role. If you want to expound on that to give us a little bit more specifics, that would be great. I do see assisting with data and annual reports and assisting with reporting. Okay. Support. What do we mean by support? I see review and analyze information to ensure it's accurate, complete, and can help. The chat just keeps jumping back to the very beginning, which is interesting. Review and analyze information to ensure it's accurate, complete, and can help a company achieve its goals. Someone that supports our efforts throughout the SPIF process. I see trend analysis of key indicators. I see to support us in the design of community needs assessments, reviewing the data we collect that relates to our specific strategies, assess our implementation of strategies for fidelity and outcomes, provide assistance with data from YRBS and other specific trends, and someone who can assist with surveys, focus groups, and key informant interview questions. Okay, so thank you very much. Do we get anything? And someone who assesses and monitors data and outcomes. Okay, so I am seeing a lot of the right answers here in the chat. And then, of course, from Carol, who came up. One of the reasons in which we asked for you all to be a part of this meeting um, and not include the vendors, which are inclusive of evaluators, is because what we are noticing a lot is that the roles are being kind of the lines are blurry as to what the evaluator role is compared to what a program uh, person, the program administrators are. And so what you see here on the screen may be very similar to information that you all have seen in the past. Uh, and so we want to clarify between what we expect, what you should expect from the evaluator, and what we are expecting from you. You all are the program staff. We expect most communication to come from you. There could be times when an evaluator may need to reach out, but they're your vendor, not ours. And there's no longer a requirement for the evaluator for you to have an evaluator. You have to do evaluation activities, but there is no longer a requirement, as we saw that to be one, a burden, two, that evaluators across the board just weren't kind of understanding or doing the same things. And maybe that's just because of whatever communication or what was asked of them when you were hiring them. But we knew that if we tell you what we need you to do as far as evaluation is concerned, that you would then go and select. We would hope that you would then go and select the appropriate person to handle that work, as well as it was somewhat of a financial burden for many jurisdictions. And so you were looking to maybe hire in-house or do some other things. But we also have Bert here who can assist you in many ways with understanding the evaluation techniques and different activities that you all should be doing to help, propel, move you forward as far as evaluation is concerned. So as stated in many of your answers, you're right. The evaluator should assist communities in conducting a needs assessment. So what does that look like? That's, knowing having some knowledge of the data sources and some community indicators, assisting in collecting primary, quantitative, and qualitative data, data analysis of quantitative and qualitative data, ability to assist coalition members in interpreting and understanding the findings. Being objective, that's the key word, being objective. What we've been finding also is that sometimes evaluators are no longer objective. They have come in and they are a lot more subjective. They are a lot more a part of, again, the program administration when that is not their role. Additionally, they're supposed to assist the communities in the development of the local strategic plan, if that's what you're working on, or assisting you with developing the plans that you all submit to us each year. The They are there to prepare any evaluation plans that you should be working on, to document the work that either your coalition is doing or that you are doing as the health department or the grantee. And that's both process and outcome evaluation of the strategies that are approved for you to be working on. They implement the process and outcome evaluation of the strategies, and they assist with preparing data collection procedures for IRB approval. They should not be submitting that directly to IRB here at the Maryland Department of Health. They should be helping you develop those data collection procedures and materials. They should be submitting them to us, the program staff here at the Maryland Department of Health, overseeing your respective grants that you are receiving. And then you have to receive approval from us prior to them being submitted to the MDH IRB. Okay, so those are some areas in which we have seen, again, we've had some concern, and why we wanted to make sure that we discussed this here. Let's go to the next slide. This is what the evaluator is not. Okay, they are, again, not program coordinators. They shouldn't be completing your applications. They shouldn't be the primary point of contact. They are not technical assistants. You reach out to Bert and us at BHA for that. They are not, again, responsible for the implementation of the strategies. They should be, again, this objective participant who is making sure that you are implementing the project, the activities, the program with fidelity, making sure and making recommendations to you on whether or not you should keep with a particular activity, helping you pull the data that helps to speak to whether or not you should be continuing on, or how the strategy is improving the health outcomes of your respective jurisdiction. So those are some of the things that we wanted to make sure that we reiterated here with you today. And as with Helene, if you have any questions, please keep them and we will answer them at the end. I don't believe I have another slide. Okay.
So just really, we wanted to review sort of what Bert's role is in terms of TA. So like we started 2 years ago, I think, but to just really establish regular calls with your TA lead. These calls, and like we said, these can be done at whatever frequency that works best for your team. We can schedule something that is monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, but we really highly recommend it. It allows us to really help assist with ensuring fidelity and programmatic support. So if, as you are collecting your, implementing your program and you're running any hurdles, to be able to kind of discuss some solutions and reach out, maybe find other resources for you, developing any tools, helping develop any surveys, reviewing. If you're developing a survey, this is a great time to review survey questions, any materials that you're creating, to have us kind of look it over and provide any technical support. So the calls are strongly encouraged, not required, but between our team and BHA, we feel like these really help to have this individual support in addition to when we put together the webinars, which is more, theme-based to kind of reach everybody. These are more personalized for what your needs are. Paris is going to do a quick overview of some of the updates to the website. One quick note is that when she's pulling that up is that you can request additional TA support. And so we have a technical request form. And so with that form, it allows you to put what assistance you need, but also what we've updated to is you can also request any previous resources that exist that we might have shared before, and we can send that over to you. So if you select at the beginning, you can see either that you need resources or specific technical assistance. And so you'll get a confirmation and follow up. And we really would like any direct technical assistance if it's just a quick email, that's fine. But if it's beyond just a question, really to put it in through this form so we can make sure it doesn't get lost in emails and there's a ability to track the requests that everyone is sending and making sure we're able to address those. So, we can have if you're curious about the types of requests, there's jurisdictions that have reached out and they can definitely share. But Paris, you want to give a quick overview of how things are organized on the website if people want to be able to search for other materials that we've provided previously?
Absolutely. So here on the website, we've made a couple of updates to kind of make it a little bit easier for you to navigate and determine what you need. So technical assistance has its own tab, so you don't have to look too hard for the link for technical assistance. If you click here, it'll lead you directly to that Qualtrics survey that we just showed. Here are some data sources that can be helpful for finding out information. Some of the data sources, they do require updates from that partner, but these are some of the data sources that are available. But again, you can always reach out to Bert for technical assistance with finding this. Any of our previous trainings, they are housed here. And then in a slide over, I'm going to show you Bert has a YouTube channel where you can look at any of the previous trainings. So if you forgot one, you missed one, or if you have any new staff that may benefit from some of the previous trainings that we have done, they are listed here on our website. And we do have a YouTube channel where all the trainings have been updated and uploaded. The surveys tab just speaks about what surveys Bert have conducted, and the final reports for the surveys will be linked here. We do know that the university is going through a little bit of changes as far as how we display information, but the links are here. And if you need anything specific or if you don't see it, again, the technical assistance form is the best way to be able to get to someone to our team. Here is a tab specifically dedicated for academic detailing. Clicking this link will take you directly to that website where someone can schedule a one-on-one with providers. And then here's a list of some of the fact sheets that we've done. The fact sheets are here. If you see something on this list that you find to be particularly interesting or something that you want, these options are also listed in the technical assistance form. So once you go to resources, you'll just check the box for what you want, and then someone from our team will be able to reach out to you and send you those documents. So that's about it. We'll be sure to send you the link at the end of the training so that way you have a direct line. But a lot of the things that you need, or if you're looking for something specific, you'll be able to find it on the BERT website. Great, so I'm going to go back to sharing the presentation. All right.
All right, I'm going to send it over to Rana.
All right, guys. So like it was mentioned before, the TA webinars, so our back to basics trainings and our peer share calls are required for your conditions of award. So we do hope to see all of you guys here. But like Helene said, it's just required that at least one of you guys shows up, but we love to see all of your faces. So we hope all of you guys do. They will be scheduled quarterly. And then we do have a few tentative topics already kind of set for you guys. So that's the community-based process. It's a SPIF overview. So we've asked all of you guys to kind of reevaluate those. So that'll be a good way for like a refresher while you're starting again. The next is our alternative strategy. So there's a few jurisdictions that are doing great with alternatives. So we definitely want to highlight those so you guys can see what everyone else is doing. And then finally, the health communications campaign. And then just like Paris said, you can view our past trainings on our website, but it also can be on our YouTube, and the link is there for you guys to check out. Poll time, yay. So we're gonna take a poll. I don't know if it's popping up. Yep, so it should have just popped up for you guys. So there are a bunch of questions on there that we would love through your feedback. So the first one is, how frequently do you prefer in-person workshops or trainings? So please go ahead and choose your
there's
fave.
2 questions on this poll, and then we'll do the topic poll next after this. Yeah.
Yep, and then the second question is, how do you prefer the in-person workshops or training? So please be honest, we do value your feedback, and we do want to make sure that you guys are getting what you want out of these. You know, we're doing these for you guys. There are no wrong answers, so click away.
And it's like, I'll end it and share the results. Can you guys see it? Okay. All right, so it looks like a nice mixture. Now with those quarterly, smallest percentage, that might be the hardest, of course, to have all of the trainings that we do, of which we only give a training a quarter, to have all of them be in person. But so perhaps we can work out how to have more than one time a year have it in person. And it looks like the regional worked well, that structure that we did before, and maybe one time we can try and do a once a year statewide thing. But thanks for that feedback. Anyone have any thoughts to add to this poll? Feel free to raise your hand if you wanted to add anything to a training schedule. All right, I'll go ahead and do the next poll. This one's a little longer. This one's helpful to let us kind of see what else you're interested when planning. You know, those were tentative topics that Ron has shared. We've thought of those based on sort of feedback through the TA calls and quarterly reports. So just let us know. And there's 5 questions for this, just FYI. We'll go ahead and give it like another minute so people can try and get a little more responses. If you feel like you don't know one, feel free to definitely answer like 4 or the open-ended one. Just really helpful for us to see what your interests are. All right. So we'll go ahead and share these. So based on question 1, it looks like our tentative idea of alternatives to community-based process aligns. So that's great. So we can definitely move forward with that. And then also with some of these other areas of interest, definitely let us know on those TA calls what specifically would be helpful. And we can even, in the interim, you know, develop tools in addition, resources in addition to webinars. So it's like a mix for when it comes to different fifth steps, but definitely capacity building. So I think that's something that we have talked about too with Brooke and Helene about some of that building up that capacity. So that's definitely a good topic to think about. Both data issues, and then when we have other topics, looks like some interest in keeping youth engaged and some effective cannabis strategies. So some of the other topics that people shared were the connection between prevention, social determinants of health, and health disparities, collaborations with other county agencies and community organizations, other ways to find timely data to assess outcomes other than pre and post surveys, and creating a coalition and getting the most from that coalition, including actionable steps. So it looks like a few of those actually some of those relate to capacity. So any other question or thoughts when it comes to potential TA training topics or resources that we can provide while we're here in this slide? All right, I'll send it back to Rana.
All right, so important dates really. We have our next Back to Basics would be October 23rd. So 10 a.m. to noon. We do a typical 2 hours. Doesn't always last that long. Sometimes it does, but we're gonna see. And then MISA will be launching early fall. So we'll send you all those fun dates. Questions, comments, and concerns. We're so happy to see all of you guys here. Don't be shy. This is the perfect time to ask any random question that you've had for months. Throw it out there.
time to ask each other questions, anything. We have time for you to be able to type in the chat, ask each other questions, as the first quarter is ending and you're, maybe getting things amped up.
Nicole, I've got a question. Really, it's a question for anybody at Bird, I guess. The 23rd is our youth ambassador program. So pretty much we're all there, and then our remaining staff will have has a alcohol responsible beverage service training. So what do we do if nobody can attend that?
No, that wouldn't be recorded. I guess that's for Brooke and Helene. Yeah.
I can see if Mimi's available, and if she can attend, then we would have somebody. But as far as like the actual AOD prevention staff, none of us will be in the office.
So we'll probably have to take many of those types of questions on a case-by-case basis, but this is the meetings that we require. So there does have to be some representation. So if it's not your staff, if someone else could attend, that would be great. They do only last an hour, hour and a half, maybe a lot of the time. So it's not a huge amount of time that we're asking for, but we do need there to be representation at
So
this
if
meeting.
it's prevention staff that's maybe not funded by these grants, but could attend and give us the information, that would work.
Sure. If that's
Okay.
that can work out for your jurisdiction.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, Brooke and Nicole. Every year, I think around this time, y'all do that training. And just the FYI, I don't know, like, for future and next year, that's the start of Red Ribbon Week. And I also will be in the schools all that week. And I'm sure like other, people or other prevention officers, they'll be doing something as well. Is that something that you could think about, or maybe like doing it like later in that day or like first thing in the morning? Because I miss that every year. And just so happened Anna's out on maternity leave, so she won't be back, and it's just the two of us.
That's good information to know. And I think that we can work on our end to figure out some better timing to host it, as long as it's quarterly. And we may even consider, what's that date again?
Red Ribbon Week is from October the 23rd to October the 31st.
No,
the 23rd is when we picked
the
it.
23rd.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we had tried to send it out like pretty far in advance, the first date.
Right. So it's possible that is that everyone's issue? Is there anyone else who is okay, that's about 3. Is there any, maybe with a show of hands, you can tell us if there's others that have a conflict with this particular date?
Yeah, that came after our save the date. I'm joking.
Hi, Brooke.
There's
This
that.
is Albright from Prince George's County. So in addition to Red Ribbon Week, there's also the National Prescription Take Back Day coming up on the 26th. And so those are prime dates to kind of get the last minute stuff kind of situated for planning for that big event as well. And so I think I would be able to make this meeting, but the rest of our staff may not be able to take the advantage of it.
Okay, thank you for that. So one of the things that I will say is I don't know that there's ever going to be any one date that we can ever select that will work for every single person, which is why we say representation. We don't specifically say a particular person has to be there. We say representation. With regard, though, to this particular one, we may need to try to consider another date in October to host it, and we'll look at that and let you, we'll discuss and figure that out, and we'll let you all know if we are changing the date or if we are proceeding with the date as scheduled. Okay.
For those that aren't receiving the listserv blasts, let us know, send us an email, but then Paris, did you see you have that linked now too as a way that people can just directly sign up?
Yes, the link to sign up is actually on our website as well. So
Yeah.
there's a subscribe button on the website. Click that, and that'll put you right on the listserv. And then also, just for future reference, it is challenging for us to know whenever you get new staff or if anybody's changed roles. So if you have new staff or something new has happened, please let someone know so that way we can manually add you to the list. That way you always get everything you need.
And the same goes for us. We've sent out a link to our distribution list several times. Helene mentioned on this call that she's even pulled that and shared with you all the information that we have about who your staff are. There's not a good consistency, I guess, with keeping up and letting us know who's who. So it would be very helpful if you all would, not only helpful, it's required. You were supposed to share that information with us because we are your grantor. So if for any reason we don't have that information and you don't have what you need, you're in jeopardy because again, we don't have the information that we need to help you. So as with the BERT team, I'm going to provide the link to the form that we have asked you all to fill out for us. And of course, we'll share that with BERT too, so that they can just quickly upload and have all the folks too. But we really need you all to share that information as soon as anything changes, name changes, people changing, all of that good stuff. Are there any other questions?
Any questions on, deliverables, requirements, for I know
evaluators, anything.
Report questions that we were getting earlier. So here's the time to ask. I know there were those updates. So if you have any questions now.
I had a question on one of the updates. Helene had mentioned that BHA requires approval for all written audio and visual communication. Do we send that to the BHA.prevention mailbox?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With regard to the form link that I'm about to share with you all, even if you think you filled this out before, I just want to suggest that you fill it out again. We will go through and remove any duplicates as needed, but we rather, be safe than sorry. So.
Okay, well, we'll be following up for any jurisdictions that we don't have scheduled TA calls on the calendar to make sure that we get those. And if you know that you don't, please reach out. But if not, we'll also be following up to make sure that those are happening or scheduled, penciled in for this fiscal year. There's other ways to connect with us, and definitely email BERT or the BHA email if you guys have any additional questions that we can answer around this upcoming, current now school year.
Hey, Nicole, I have a question.
Sure.
My question is actually for Brooke. No, it's hello, Brooke. How are you? So
Well,
I saw your face. Quick question as far as the roster, the staff roster. Do you want staff that's not even like, for instance, they're not funded under our SABG or OMPP, but they're doing, they're working under a different grant. So like STOP, for instance.
So We
Or
need
yes?
generally no. What
Okay.
we want anyone in your jurisdiction who should receive any sort of administrative information about these grants. Some jurisdictions have their health officer because they're, and some
Okay.
the larger jurisdictions may not have that. Who a super is there a supervisor that needs to be on it? You, any staff that's under you that is actually working on, or whoever just needs to have the information,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
then they can decide if they want to come off the list or not. But whoever needs to have the information, who needs to be informed, is who we
Okay.
want.
Perfect.
Yep. Well, we're always here, and we are always excited about a new year and all the impactful work that you all will do, and the ways in which you will help your communities to become healthier. Uh, so, you know, your success, as I always say, is our success, and so we are here to support you in any way possible to ensure that success. I thought Ben just started sharing his screen. I was like, okay, you just want us to see your face. But it's because he was the last one talking, I guess.
All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your day, and let us know, like Brooke said, if you guys have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I think we can send those like a follow-up email and put all of the links that we just shared, the us, Bert and BHA.
You want to stop the
So that,
recording, Pierce?
Ladies,
yes.
this is Jordan. Hi from Allegheny
Hi,
County.
Jordan.
I assume you guys will send up, I mean, I think that's what you're just saying, Brooke. You guys probably send the slides that you shared and stuff to us today.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.